Hello once again out there to all my fellow Fix-It employees to another episode of How to Satisfactory, my on-the-job training video for all the new employees out there to Fix-It Corp to teach you what you need to know. A how-to tutorial and walkthrough from landing on your designated planet to building a grandiose, working, efficient factory from the ground up that will assist you in becoming a valued employee of the company. And in the last episode, we were actually going to work on that efficient section, except, well, we kind of realized that we hadn't done all the concrete yet. So that's what we did in the last episode. So this time around, we're actually going to do the efficient part. So this will be the first of 2 to 3 episodes to achieve our efficiency goal. The idea here being we want to make all of our machines work in harmony together and produce just as many parts as we actually need, with only a few left over to go into our storage or down here into our sink. The main thing is we want to try to start out at the top up here first by getting our newest machines up here, the one making the parts for our space elevator. We want to get that kind of going a little better. So today's episode is going to be concentrating over here on our steel section. We want to make sure that we are getting enough raw material coming in to produce the ingots, and enough ingots being produced to produce the other parts, which will then be provided up to these machines up here, because those are currently the only ones that need them. The next episode, we will come over here to the copper line and make sure this is all working efficiently, because we are running a shortage right now of wire and cable up to our machines up top. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we'll do is come over to our hub, go ahead and log into the terminal here, and we're going to go to Tier 4 and Logistics Mark III. So what this is going to give us is power storage. These work as giant batteries to store power. In case we have an outage or anything, you can actually build these, and it will, any extra power you have will go into this until they're full. And if you have a power outage, it will drain from these first. They work pretty much just as giant batteries would. The next thing it unlocks is the industrial storage containers. These are just like the regular storage containers we already have, but they are double the size, so they hold more. It's also going to unlock the most important thing that we are going to need, which is conveyor belt Mark III and conveyor lift Mark IIIs. Now these will actually transport up to 270 resources per minute. That's quite a bit of resources per minute. You're also going to unlock these stackable pipeline supports as well. So those are kind of handy for working with pipes, but nothing we're going to need right now at the moment. Go ahead and select that milestone. Now I already have all the parts I need to finish this milestone already loaded up here in my inventory. What you will need is 200 steel beams, 100 steel pipes, and about 500 concrete. Now, if you don't already have this, just check your storage containers. You should have plenty of this on hand at this point. And then just go ahead and launch it all into the transport box, push the big red button, and that's going to send that up to our alien overlords in the sky. Oh, oops, I meant it's going to send it up to Fix-It Corp. Yes, that's totally what I meant. Alright, so after you've unlocked Logistics Mark III, the next thing we're going to need is about 7 to 8 power shards. Now 2 we can actually reuse from the 2 miners that we already have out here on this iron for our steel. If you've been following along, you should also have at least 1 power shard in each of these, as you can see here, and the other one should have 1 as well. So that's 2 of the 7 to 8. So all we need now is about, we'll say about 6 more. Now the first part of this video is going to be showing you where you can find those 6 power shards at. So if you already have 6 power shards in your inventory, or you don't need to look for those, you can completely avoid this next part and go on to the next section. But if you need help finding some, well, let's get to it. First one is going to be right over here on the side of this rock arch right there. You can kind of see it from here right there. So let's head over there. We'll just go ahead and build some ramps up to that to make that easy to get up there. Put it right there, and maybe turn Zoop on. That'll make this a lot easier. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and get out my Nobulus, because there are some Chipotle plants up here. Alright, so let's go ahead and take these guys out. There's 1, 2, and there should be another one right over here. Alright, so our first blue slug is going to be right up there on that outcropping, so we can kind of probably jump from these little things right here to get up to him fairly easy now that we're up here. Yeah, just kind of make your way jumping up to here, and we can just grab him right here on the corner. There we go. Alright, so there is also a purple slug on the very top of this arch. So if you haven't already unlocked that in the MAM, what you can do is just make yourself a makeshift ramp up to the very top of here using the foundations, and go ahead and grab that up there. Now the way I'm going to get up there is actually using some ladders. I think that will probably be the best way. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a foundation. I'm going to put it right here on that rock outcropping there. I'm going to zoop that over about 3 foundations. Go into my build menu, grab a ladder under architecture, and then I'm just going to attach it to the side of that, and then just kind of bring that down. Just build myself another foundation right here at the bottom of the ladder as far as I can see, and then I should just be able to jump to the ladder and then just make my way up it. Alright, once I'm up here at the top, I can see I'm going to have to use a couple more ramps here, so not a problem. I'll just put one right here and then zoop that one up. That should give me enough space to get up there. And of course, whatever way you get up here is fine as long as you get up here. And then we can go over here, and like I said, right in the middle is a purple power slug. Now, I actually have not unlocked this myself, so we're going to use this first purple slug to do that later on. After you grab the slug, just make your way back down the ladder, or however which way you got up there. And don't forget to demolish everything that you built so you get all your parts back. Also, don't forget, when you're searching for slugs, using the handy dandy hand scanner is going to make things a whole lot easier. Just hit right click on your mouse to change between the different items that you're going to be searching for. Choose power slugs there, and then as we're close to one, it should start beeping. So according to this, there's another one here somewhere. Alright, so I think I know where this one is. It is down here in this giant chasm, so we're not going to worry about that one right now. We'll just move on. So our next power slug is going to be right over here. So if you're facing the rock arch and the space elevator like so, it's going to be right over to the left on top of that pillar right there. So all we have to do is get on top of that. Again, if we just use our ramp and zoop, that should be no challenge at all. Once we're up here, we're going to go ahead and grab some nobelisks. And we're just going to blow away these rocks. There's our yellow slug, and the yellow power slug counts as 2 power shards. So altogether so far, not counting the purple one, that'd be a total of 3 power shards we can already make now. Alright, after grabbing the yellow slug on top of that, underneath the rocks, we're going to come over here to where our miner for our iron is. And if we turn around and look right up on that little rock outcropping right there, you should see it right on the tippy tip edge right there. And again, this one shouldn't be anything that's too hard to get. We'll just use zoop, and then climb up to the top of this rock and then grab it. After grabbing that one, we're going to turn around, and there's going to be another one that is right over there on the top of those rocks where we built our explosives plant over there. So we'll have to get back up to the top of that again. Now for me, I already had a ladder that went to the top of this. Hopefully you did as well. Alright, so from the top of our explosives plant over here, where our coal miner right here is, if we turn kind of northeast, right in there, and then head that way, you should see it right on the corner. Right there it is. So we'll just walk right over to this one and grab that one. Alright, so now at this point we should have collected 1 yellow slug and 3 blue ones. That's a total of 5 power shards we're at now. Now, if you turn around, you'll notice your hand scanner is going to be going crazy, telling you that there's another slug nearby. Those are actually in a cave deep underground right near here. And I wouldn't recommend trying to get in there at the moment without a gas mask, which we don't have. Also, if the gas isn't much of a deterrent for you, there's also a bunch of spiders down there, so might not be the best time to go cave exploring. Alright, now from our explosives plant, we are going to travel west along the edge down through here, back past our miner here for our iron, and just keep going this direction. Now, as you are traveling west along the edge, you will come across this right here. It's a giant kind of rock outcropping with a bunch of these the gas rocks on top of it. And be careful, there is a pack of chargers over here, so make sure you take care of the local wildlife first. And of course, pick up the remains, because that has a new use now with update 7. Now, if you look around the edge of the rocks right here with the gas rocks, you should see a yellow slug right there on the very edge of that. Once again, just use your ramps to build something right down to that to get to that easy enough. Run up here, grab this thing as fast as you can, because you are going to be taking damage from it, and then get back down quickly. And voila, 1 yellow slug equals 2 more shards. Now we have a total of 7. Continuing west along the cliffside, you're going to come across 2 iron ore nodes down here. One here, and then one right over here. And we should be facing our coal miner right over there, as you can see in the distance. And you'll notice the hand scanner is telling me there's one nearby. It is actually, if we look straight down, and be careful not to fall off right here, because that's a long way down. There's a power slug right there. It's also being guarded by one of the spitters down there as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's also some arachnids down there as well. So you want to be careful. Now, best thing to do is to kind of plan your way on how you're going to get over to that and down to it, or however you're going to go. Now, what I'm going to do is, of course, make myself some ramps down here. And I know there's going to be a fight down here, because there's definitely spiders down here. I can hear them creepy crawling around. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure my weapon's out and prepare for that fight. Alright, so once we take care of all the problems down here, go ahead and make sure you pick up all your remains once again. Head over here and let's get that slug. Alright, once you've retrieved the power slug down here, you can go ahead and make your way back up how you came, or you can kind of go through this cave a little bit, and it actually comes out over here too. I'm just going to delete my stuff here I've built, and I will show you. Alright, there we go. So let's go through the cave. I've already cleared out the cave from any of the insectoids down through here. And if we just travel through here, kind of off to the left, it's going to come out right over here, right where our coal line is. Actually, that's a perfect coincidence too, because what we're going to do is head right over here to this coal miner. We're going to pop down a craft bench, and we're going to go ahead and make all of those slugs into our power shards now. Okay, so I already had one power shard on me, so after making all of those slugs into the shards, I have a total of 9. One more than what I actually say we will probably need. Let's go ahead, and next we want to make some encased industrial beams. You're going to need at least 10 of these right now. Alright, after making those, what we're going to do is just select the miner Mark 1 to make a copy of it. Hit E to change it over to a Mark 2. And change that into a Mark 2 miner. Alright, so a Mark 2 miner is going to give us about 240 coal per minute off of a pure node. That's actually quite good. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and make sure we change all of these lines into Mark 3 belts and Mark 3 lifts. So just convert those over, and then we need to get the one up on top there too, so not a problem. Let's go ahead and delete that craft bench though. Make our way up to our transport hub, and we want to make sure we transfer all of these over to a Mark 3 as well. Want to make sure you come all the way back to the lift and make sure the complete belt is a Mark 3. Now the reason we're converting all of this is because we want to make sure we get as much coal as we possibly can, as fast as we possibly can, into that transport hub for that little tractor to carry. Because once we start messing with the machines over there, we're going to need a lot more coal. Once you finish all of your upgrades, now it's time to head back over to our main factory. Alright, once back over here at our main factory, we are going to need to make 2 more Mark II miners. So, go into our build menu, select that, go ahead and click that plus sign twice. That way we have a to-do list over here, and that's going to show us exactly what we're going to need in order to produce all of that and what we're missing. Alright, so make sure you grab or make all the parts you need in order to complete that to-do list. For me, I'm going to need some more encased industrial beams, and we are going to need at least a couple more portable miners. So I'll go ahead and make those industrial beams real quick here. Then I'll head down here to the workshop, make a couple of portable miners. And last but not least, we are also going to need a ton of steel beams. So let's go up here to our storage, and we should have a bunch of these up here somewhere. I believe it's in this container. Nope, that's pipes, so it's the one next to it. Here we go. Alright, I'm just going to grab a ton of these. I'm going to grab like 5 stacks. Once you've got everything you need, let's go ahead and come out here to our 2 iron miners. Let's go ahead and we're going to just remove these actually, because I don't know about you guys, but I suddenly have giant iron ore rocks that just appeared inside of my miners. So let's get these out of the way. Once you've got those out of the way, go ahead and replace the Mark II miners down now in those spots. Connect each of the miners with a little bit of power here, like so. There we go. And then remove and replace the belts using Mark IIIs. Just like that. There we go. Now what we want to do is go ahead and make sure the rest of these belts are Mark III as well going into the building. Once inside, go ahead and copy the foundry and place another one right next to it, like this one. And same thing over here on the other side as well. We then want to take a splitter and connect it right here behind this first foundry right here on this iron line. There we go, just like that. What we're going to do essentially is split this iron line so that we can run it into this one and that one over there as well. And just remember to use Mark III belts to make sure that's connected into each section here. Now make sure our new foundry over here is also connected. Just like this. Come over here to the other side, do the exact same thing. We're going to remove these belts right here. We're going to go ahead and grab a splitter, making sure it's right here in front of that, just like that. Move that conveyor pole right there too, so that's not in the way. Make sure we got Mark III belts going in, like so, and over here as well. And connect. After getting all the iron connected, we're next going to just go ahead and remove the conveyor list we have here coming into these first two foundries. I obviously use conveyor holes here, so make sure you remove the belts and everything. Go ahead and copy these conveyor holes. We want to try to get those about in line here. So right there. Put another one over here on this side, right there. Now we want to go ahead and use Mark III lifts right here, making sure it is inputting into the foundry. And we'll just connect these to all the different floor holes, just like that. And then make sure to connect those up using Mark III belts as well. Since we're going to be using Mark III belts from this point forward, the best thing to do is just open up your build menu, find the Mark III belt under logistics right there, then just add it to your hotbar by pressing the number you want it to be. For me, it's going to be number 3, so I'll just highlight it and hit 3. Now my hotbar number 3 number is always going to be the Mark III. That's going to make this a lot easier because I personally kept forgetting to change it over to a 3. There we go. Going to finish all of those off. Now let's go underneath of this down here. We're going to add the lifts down here on the bottom the same way we had them before. Make sure you also convert the old conveyor lifts down here over to Mark III as well. Now all the splitters and everything we had set up down here, just go ahead and remove those and the belt. Let's go ahead and convert this belt into a Mark III coming out of the transport hub like so. Next, bring your conveyor lift down from our 2 new conveyor lifts right there and there. And then we're going to set up all new splitters down here. Kind of put it right on the line if you can there. You should be able to now take a Mark III lift and put it, or belt anyway, and put it right into that lift just like that. So you just have to add enough space so that it will kind of lift up to that because they are kind of at an odd angle. Once you've got this splitter and conveyor lift set up, we're going to go ahead and copy that splitter. We're going to come down here to this first one like that, and then skip the one in the middle, come down here to the next one right here. Make sure that's in line, and the next one down here. Then we're going to add all of our lines in, so just hop over here, conveyor belt, Mark III, into that, into that, into that, from there into that, come down here, into there, into there. Now, once you've got all of these in, the middle one will be the next one we put in. We saved it for last because if you don't, you can't really get the lines to connect. So we got to take one of these splitters, kind of put it right here in the middle, and just kind of line it up to about, kind of eyeball it right there, right on the line. Then connect it, because if you do it any other way, it just won't work. Alright, so next up is power. I'm not a huge fan of how I have these lines run right here, so I'm just going to get rid of these, actually. Just get rid of the lines. And get rid of these poles right here at this door too. Don't think we need those either, so I'm just going to get rid of those. And instead, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and put a pole down kind of right in front of each of these, like one there, and then just kind of maybe like one there. Let's connect those up real quick and see how that's going to work. And then run that over to here, run that to there. Yeah, okay, all right. I come over here to the other two, we'll do the same thing. Run that power line to that, run that over to the edge over here, which technically should just be a wall, but I'm okay with that. I'll just delete that cable, run that to here, and from that over to that one. Something else I could probably do, and I might do it later on, is maybe just use the double wall outlets, and then just put the actual cable on the other side of the wall, instead of hanging out like on this wall like that is. Now we also have to make sure that these lines are connected to a main outlet, so what I'm going to do is just grab that real quick, and we're just going to run it down through the line right here, make sure it's on orange, and then we can just kind of post it wherever we want. I like there. And then run a cable from that over to this pole. There we go. Everything's activated again. Make sure our 2 new foundries are selected for steel ingot, and do make sure to select both of them. Alright, and now that those foundries are set, we got them all set for steel ingot. We can make, let's see here, 45 in each one. Next, let's come out to the front of each of these foundries, and we're just going to remove these conveyor belts all together. And we're going to do that on both sides as well. Don't forget your conveyor poles either. Right, now what I want to do here is add a merger in here. So we'll make sure everything is a merger. There we go. I like that. Make sure the outlet is going down towards these machines down this way. Line it up just right. There we go. Put another one down here in front of this one. Make sure the outlet is going towards this merger down here, like so. And we're going to put another one right in front of that one, like that. Making sure it's all running down the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to run 3 of these foundries just to make steel beams, because beams require a lot of ingots. Pipes, not so much. Now we got all 3 of our mergers on each of these foundries right here. We can start putting in our Mark III conveyor belts, connecting those up, then connecting that like that, and this into this. Then we want to convert the existing belts on these 2 machines over to that as well. Make sure to also get the ones in between the splitter and the machine as well, like that. Now we're come over here to our other foundry. Let's just go ahead and grab a merger here as well. Put that right in front of that, like that, with the output going this way. We should be able to make that an easy turn right into this splitter, and then connect that up like that. Alright, so now only this foundry will be running this side, because as I said, it takes a lot less ingots to make pipes than it does to make steel beams. Alright, so let's look at our steel beams right now for a second. Let's hit E to configure these. Alright, currently I have it set to 25% underclocking. That's 3.75 steel beams per minute. That's not a lot, but however, you see how many steel ingots it takes just to make almost 4 of these? It takes 15. So what we can now do is kind of jump this up a little bit. Let's say I want to make a full 100%. That's 15 per minute. That's going to require 60 steel ingots every minute. That's a lot of steel ingots to make the full 100%. Like, a lot. So the main question here is exactly how many steel beams do we require